Go and stand at your bathroom mirror for a second, or just picture it. Pull your lip down gently and really look at your gums, up close, the way you almost never do. Have you ever done that and thought, something looks a little different up there, and then just let your lip go and got on with your day, because you had no idea what you were even looking at? I want to change that today. What if I told you that your gums and your tongue are quietly telling you exactly what is going on inside your mouth? If you simply know the 3 things to look for, and that reading them correctly could be the difference between a $5 fix at home and a very expensive problem down the road. Now you might be thinking, come on, can you really tell that much just from looking, Dr. Hale? More than you would ever guess. It is the first thing I did with every patient before I picked up a single instrument. I am Dr. Warren Hale, your neighborhood dentist, and after 30 years chairside, I can tell you that most people miss the earliest sign completely, and that nearly everybody reads one of these 3 signals exactly backwards, and it costs them. So drop the shame at the door. Whatever you see when you look, it can be worked with, and looking is the brave first step. Grab a pen, and if you can, a mirror, and let us read your gums together. One quick and honest word before we begin. I am here to teach, not to diagnose you. I am not your dentist, and nothing in this video replaces a real exam by someone who can actually look inside your mouth. If anything in your mouth is bleeding, painful, swelling, or changing, please go and see your own dentist. And a few of the signs I am going to describe today are ones you must not sit on. So listen for the ones where I tell you plainly, that is, see a dentist. Good? Then let us get into it. Let me start with what most folks get wrong, because you cannot judge a warning sign until you know what healthy actually looks like. Ask yourself right now, what color are healthy gums? Most people say pink. That is close, but here is the detail that matters. Truly healthy gums are a firm, pale, coral, or salmon pink. And if you look very closely, they have a slightly bumpy, stippled texture, a little like the peel of an orange. They are firm to the touch, they hug the teeth tightly, and they come to a neat little point between each tooth. That firmness, that pale coral color, that snug fit, that is the picture of health. Hold that image in your mind, because every warning sign is simply a departure from it. And here's the ancestral truth underneath it. For most of human history, on coarse, fibrous, unprocessed food, that firm, pale gum was simply the normal state of things well into old age. The puffy, angry gums so many people now accept as normal are largely a modern problem born of soft, sugary, processed food. That is not a personal failing. The food changed faster than our mouths could. Now the first sign, and it is the one people read backwards more than any other, look for gums that are bright, angry red instead of pale coral, and that look puffy, shiny, and a little swollen, especially in the little points between the teeth. Here is the backwards part. When people see red, puffy gums that bleed when brushed, they think, I am brushing too hard, I am hurting them, I had better be gentler or leave them alone. And so they back off and the redness gets worse. It is the opposite. That bright red, shiny puffiness is inflammation, and it is caused by plaque bacteria sitting at the gum line, not by your brush. The gums are not injured, they are irritated, and they are begging you to clean that line, gently but daily. This is the earliest, most reversible sign there is, and the good news I want you to hold is this. Caught here that redness and puffiness can genuinely calm back down to firm, pale pink within a week or 2 of gentle daily cleaning and a simple warm saltwater rinse. This is the stage you want to catch. This is the whole game. The second sign is the sneaky one, because it does not hurt and it happens so slowly you never notice it day to day. Look at where your gum meets your tooth and ask yourself, do my teeth look longer than they used to? Is there a little notch or step where the gum has crept back and exposed a bit of the yellower root near the bottom? That is receding gums. And here is the honest truth people do not want to hear, so I will say it kindly but plainly. Gum tissue that has truly receded does not grow back on its own. There is no rinse, no oil, no paste that regrows it. And anyone selling you that is selling you a dream. I have to be straight with you, because that honesty is the whole point of this channel. But here is what you absolutely can do, and it matters enormously. You can stop it from getting any worse. Recession is very often driven by two things: brushing too hard with a hard bristled brush, which literally scrubs the gum away, and by grinding or clenching. So switch to a soft brush today. Use that gentle 45-degree circular touch instead of a hard back and forth sawing motion. And if you wake with a sore jaw, mention grinding to your dentist. You may not be able to get back what is gone, but you can absolutely draw the line right where it is. And where the exposed root is sensitive to cold, a remineralizing or sensitivity toothpaste, either a fluoride or one of the hydroxyapatite ones, about $8 to $12 a tube, genuinely helps. Let me tell you about a woman who taught me how much a mirror is worth. I will call her Ruth, a retired librarian, the kind of person who did everything by the book. She came in one day genuinely upset because she had noticed in her own mirror that one of her front teeth suddenly looked longer than its neighbor, and a little dark triangle of gap had opened up beside it, where the gum used to fill the space. She was sure she was losing the tooth. I looked and I was able to give her good news that day, precisely because she had caught it so early. It was recession, and it had one clear cause. She had been brushing for years with a firm brush and a hard sawing stroke, convinced that scrubbing harder meant cleaner. We swapped her to a soft brush and that gentle circular touch that very afternoon. The gum did not grow back. I told her the truth about that. But 2 years on, that line has not moved another millimeter. She caught it in a mirror. That is all it took. And that brings me to a fourth thing worth a quick look, tied to the second, the little dark triangles. As gums recede or shrink from inflammation, you sometimes get those small black gaps opening between the teeth down near the gum, what we call open triangles. People panic and think the tooth is rotting from the gap. Usually it is not. It is just space where firm gum used to sit. It is not something to fix with a home remedy, and it is certainly not something to poke at. But it is a signal to be gentle, to keep that space clean with a soft interdental brush sized to fit, and to have your dentist keep an eye on it. The lesson is the same as Ruth's. Notice it early, treat the mouth kindly, and you hold the line. The third sign is the one I most need you to take seriously, and it is the reason I always looked before I touched. Look at the soft tissues, the gums, the inside of the cheeks, the sides and underside of the tongue, and look for anything that simply does not belong. A patch that is white and cannot be wiped or brushed away. A red or speckled patch. A sore, an ulcer, or a lump that has been there more than 2 weeks and is not healing. Here is where I set the fixes aside and speak very plainly. That is not a home fix. That is not a saltwater rinse. Any spot, patch, sore, or lump in the mouth that does not heal within 2 weeks needs to be looked at by a dentist or a doctor, promptly. I am not telling you that to frighten you, and the great majority of these turn out to be harmless. I am telling you because catching that kind of thing early, when it is easy to deal with, is one of the most important reasons to keep those regular dental visits, even when nothing hurts. Your dentist looks for exactly this every visit in seconds. Please do not let a spot like that sit. While you have the mirror out, give your tongue a look too, because it worries people needlessly, and I want to set your mind at ease. A tongue with a light whitish coating, especially in the morning, is almost always just built-up bacteria and dead cells, and a $5 tongue scraper clears it in 10 seconds. Do not let a video convince you that a coated tongue means your body is poisoned. It does not. Same with a tongue that has odd smooth patches with little map-like borders that seem to move around week to week, what is called geographic tongue. It looks alarming, it is harmless, and there is nothing to treat. What does deserve attention, and I will say it plainly again, is a single patch, sore, or lump on the tongue or under it that stays put and does not heal in 2 weeks. Harmless things come and go and move around. The thing to watch is the thing that sits in one spot and stays. Remember that difference and you will not lose sleep over the harmless ones, and you will not ignore the one that matters. Let me give you one more color to keep in your back pocket, because it comes up and it worries people. Sometimes folks look and find their gums are very pale, almost washed out and whitish, rather than a healthy coral. Now, most of the time that is nothing dramatic, but unusually pale gums, all over, can occasionally go along with being low in iron, being anemic. The same thing I mentioned can drive a craving to chew ice. So if your gums look consistently pale and you have been feeling tired and worn down, that is not a toothpaste problem. That is worth a mention to your doctor and a simple blood test. I only bring it up to make the point of this whole video. Your mouth is a window. It shows you things about the rest of you if you know how to look, and the looking costs nothing. Take a breath here because I have thrown a lot of signs at you, and I do not want you leaving anxious. Here's the calm summary of the principle. Firm, pale coral, snug and lightly stippled is health. Anything redder, puffier, shinier than that is early inflammation. And early inflammation is the good news because it is the reversible kind, cleaned gently and daily. Anything that is shrinking, lengthening the tooth, is recession. Hold the line with a soft brush. And anything that is a persistent patch, sore or lump past 2 weeks goes straight to a professional. No home remedies. 3 simple reads. That is the entire toolkit. Now let me remove the shame, because a lot of people avoid the mirror and avoid the dentist for the same reason. They are afraid of what they will find and afraid of being scolded. Hear me. Missing teeth, receding gums, a mouth that has seen some hard years. None of that makes you careless. It makes you human, and it makes you exactly the kind of person a good dentist can still help. Looking is not vanity, and it is not fear. Looking is how you catch the cheap, easy version of a problem before it becomes the expensive, hard one. Now for 2 honest lines, because I promised them. First, be careful what you trust online about reading your mouth. You will find videos telling you a white tongue means your body is full of toxins, or that you can diagnose serious disease from a photo of your gums. That is not how any of this works. A white coating on the tongue is usually just built-up bacteria and dead cells that a $5 tongue scraper clears in 10 seconds. Do not let the internet turn a simple, cleanable film into a panic. And second, the honest limit on all of this. Looking in the mirror tells you where to pay attention. It does not replace the trained eye and the measurements your dentist takes below the gum line, where you cannot see. What I am giving you is how to catch the obvious signs early and know which ones cannot wait. The part under the gum is still theirs. A quick word on costs, because I know it weighs on many of you. Dental care is not on Medicare, and I know the office that got bought by a chain can make you feel like every visit is a sales pitch. So let me tell you what you are allowed to do. You are allowed to ask your dentist to simply show you in the mirror what they are seeing and why. A good one will be glad to. You are allowed to ask what can wait and watch versus what truly needs doing now. And you are allowed a second opinion if a big ticket plan does not sit right. Looking in your own mirror at home is how you walk into that conversation informed instead of afraid. So let us bring it home. Firm, pale coral, snug and stippled. That is health. Hold that picture. Bright red and puffy. Clean it gently and daily. Do not back off. It calms down. Teeth looking longer. That is recession. Soften your brush and stop it where it is. And any white or red patch, sore or lump that lingers past 2 weeks, that is a see your dentist, promptly, no waiting. The mirror is free. The soft brush and the salt water are pocket change. And knowing which sign to act on yourself and which one to hand straight to a professional, that is worth more than any product on the shelf. Keep seeing your own dentist for the part you cannot see, because that is exactly what they are there for. Next time, I am going to hand you the single cheapest thing you can add to a glass of warm water to quiet bleeding gums and freshen your breath at the same time, and I will show you the right way to use it. It is the natural next step after today. So take care of those gums and do not be afraid to really look at them. Remember, they are the only set you get, and you are never too old to start saving them. I am Dr. Warren Hale. I will see you next time.